Hi, good day to all my young college going friends. I guess you are all going through the current uncertainties. My name is Karthik Kadampully. I am the CEO of Eon Learning Private Limited, which is one of India's leading online education company, helping universities go online and also helping um, offer online courses on emerging technology to working professionals as well as students under two brands, Avagma and Acad Guild. I'm here to just share some thoughts on what you can do to manage your anxiety and uncertainty, not just only during the pandemic, but also in life in the future. I'm sure you have got a lot of questions around when classes would resume, when will the exams be, what are my job prospects, and so on and so forth. And more frustrating is when authorities are not giving you direct answers as to what I should be doing in the future. There's uncertainty everywhere, which is the cause of this anxiety itself, and of course there's so much of boredom that's setting in. But before we delve into what you are going to do through this, let us do some fun exercise right now. I'm asking you to dream. Yes, dream. Now, yes, as I speak, can you start dreaming? And I'll tell you what you should dream of. And this is a fun exercise, and I'm sure at the end of it, you'll get the answers to some of the things that I'm going to share with you on how to tackle anxiety, etc. Dream of a situation where you're not the student with these anxieties right now. You are the decision maker during this pandemic. You're the chancellor of the university, or you are the chief secretary of the state, or you are the chief minister, or even the prime minister. Now, don't just smile and just do that. Be the character and start dreaming. What are the first images that you get? It must be, richness, fancy car, high leather studded chair, people giving instructions to subordinates who are jotting down every word spoken by the powerful person. They're going to a fancy restaurant, playing at the beach, partying in yachts, etc. I'm sure those are the images that crossed your mind when you think of these decision makers right now. Who won't want to trade places with such powerful and rich life position, right? Great. Now let's do one thing. Let's stop dreaming and let's look at how what you dreamt equates to what your anxiety and uncertainty are. Stop dreaming. Let's now look at behind the scenes of these people who are these powerful men and women who are decision makers during this pandemic. You know what? What's the harsh reality? They're equally anxious and equally uncertain as you are. Even they don't have answers to what you're asking for, and on top of it, everyone is looking up to them and asking for answers and taking out their anger at them by shouting slogans and writing on social media. And assuming they are the administrator, they are, let's assume, the chief minister of the or the prime minister, even they do not have answers to what COVID-19 is going to do next. Mr. Virus is not going to tell them that how fast they're going to spread. So where do they have answered to you to tell when is the next examination or how long the pandemic is going to continue? And yet they're forced to take a decision, and the decision can come wrong. Imagine the amount of anxiety that they have, right? Thereby, more or less, everybody is faced with uncertainties and anxieties at all phases in life, not just now. Today, COVID happened to be one of the cause for you. Tomorrow, it could be something else. And this could happen to rich and poor, grown-ups, young kids, business owners, employees. Everybody in life goes through anxiety and uncertainty. Bottom line is, you will have anxieties. Anxiety today is what about my examination? When will classes resume? What do I do next? And a few months back it was, hope I'm able to finish my portion. And a few years down the line it would be, hope I get a good job. Here's the thing. Anxiety, uncertainty, and ambition being constants, what you do of the anxiety and the uncertainty in your life defines what you become. So what should you do? Start working on whatever is causing the anxiety. And who can do it? Just you. Target the problem head on. Create your path And as a corollary, do not complain. Do not crib ever. Find a solution to that. So let's take a situation. What do you do now? There is a pandemic, and throughout the life there could be such similar situations. Take this lockdown as a boon. You have time to do so many things. Then let's use this time to A, create a short-term target, B, create a long-term target. And what's a short-term target? Short-term targets are immediate activities, which is the next class test, the next examination. Make a list of all those things that you have been weak in, maybe maths, maybe some other topic. Then, once the short-term target is ready, keep in mind this is short-term, and a new short-term will have to be created once this is met few months down the line. Then, work on all the identified weaknesses you already have listed out there. Put in all effort and time on just those small targets. The long-term targets can come later. The moral is, go head on against what is causing the anxiety. Instead of worrying about it, try to find answers within whatever resources are available. Spend time and effort. There is no replacement for effort that you would be putting in. And act on it. And unravel it piece by piece, achieving success with smaller targets. Always keep the final goal in mind. Yes. And create your own path. Do not depend on somebody else to solve your problems. That will never happen. Nobody can actually support you. They can advise you. But you are the one who should go with the question. So it starts with you. Thereby, my young friends, the anxiety you form now is for one reason, the pandemic. Do you have answers? But then look at what is in your control. You are the only constant in your life. And you can get answers to yourself. What is the point in worrying now of a situation for which you do not have an answer for? To help meet your short-term target, delve deep into meeting them, read books, get into an online class. Now, situation is if your college does not provide you with online courses, you can sit down and crib. Instead, go ahead and search on the internet. There are enough free courses on every subject under the sun. Solve whatever questions you can solve from last year's examinations. Be so perfect with the subject that when the final exam comes and you receive the question paper on that day, the answers to that question should be as clear as the movie you saw last night. And how is that possible? By repeatedly doing the same problem over and over and over again. And you have the time right now. Don't worry. Manage your targets now, during this time. Worrying about when the exam will happen will not help you in any form, right? So this was your short-term target. And now you will have to keep creating and meeting short-term targets every few months. Let's look at your long-term targets. Fair. Now question is, do you have a long-term target? And if you don't, what can be the possible long-term targets that you can create? Research on all the possible kind of jobs that you can pursue. It's best to plan than take something that will fall on your lap in the future. You could also look at what is it that I would like to study when I am going to do my higher studies in the future. How do you do research? There's tons of data available on the internet, and one leads to another, which leads to another, which leads to another. If you don't put in time, you will never be able to reach that powerful position that you have been aspiring for and you dreamt of just now. And you will always be dreaming of and worried about anxiety and the uncertainty in your life and crib about it. Take control and create a path for yourself. For my final words, I would just say there are two things that you should remember. Anxiety and uncertainty is a constant. Create your own path. That's a number two. And take anxiety head on by its horns and convert that to your advantage. All the very best and stay safe.